Coming through. Since retiring from the public's eye, I had resigned myself to a life of solitude.
Everyone's favorite green gecko has finally returned! Gexisback! Kinda. I'm sure all the Gex fans are watching this video. I'm one of the biggest Gex fans in the world. I'm extremely excited that Gex is back. Kinda. This is not what we were hoping it was going to be. This is not a remake of the Gex trilogy. This is just the ports of the Gex trilogy. These are games we've been playing for the past 20 fucking years, so... But still, he is back. Kinda. I was hoping this was going to be a new Gex game. Gex 4, Return of the Gecko. That's a perfect title. A lot of us Gex fans have been saying that title for years. It's too perfect. I mean, that title's like a parody of Return of the Jedi. It would have been perfect. Maybe they'll still do it. Maybe. I have my doubts, though. This shouldn't have taken this long to happen. There was works that they were going to do something new with Gex for a while. Why did this take this long? Really? Really, guys? 2023? Why not, like, 3 years after, or, like, right away? Like, as soon as Square Enix bought the rights to Gex. And by the way, that's another sad thing, is that Crystal Dynamics, Gex was their mascot, and they tried so hard with the character, and they completely abandoned the character. They never brought him back. They didn't even care about him as the years went on after the trilogy. They didn't give a fucking shit. It became all about Lara Croft, or Kraft, or whatever. Kraft mac and cheese, whatever. And they even didn't care enough to, like, keep the character and allowed another company to buy the character. I think that's really fucking sad. The fate of Gex after his trilogy is the same thing that happened to another famous, beloved platformer icon from the 90s. It also happened to Rayman. Same fucking shit. Although Rayman came back with, like, which was decent, a lot of Rayman fans like me, I still want something like a Rayman 4 or something. Anyway, I'm not here to talk about good old Rayman. We're here to talk about Gex, who's been away for way too long. I wish that Gex was more popular back in the day, but that's a whole other video. We get to see a little tiny teaser of this re-release of the Gex trilogy, right? The trailer is basically the same thing as the original teaser trailer for GoldenEye, the James Bond film from 1995. He even says the same lines in it.
You were expecting someone else?
Were you expecting someone else?
It's not confirmed, but I'm going to say this right here on video. I think that that is Dana Gould, the original voice actor for Gex back in the day. That sounds like his voice. That's what my ears tell me. It really, really does sound like him. He says 2 lines in the trailer. It's Gex. I think it is Gex. And if they make like a Gex 4, I really, really hope that he's going to be back to voice Gex. Because I heard rumors that he was bitter about playing Gex after the fact, because I heard some rumor that said that he was upset that they didn't pay him enough money for all the work he contributed to the series. I can see that being possible, because he said so many lines for this character. I mean, he said like a gazillion lines. Anyway, he's a very hard man to get any information about. He is a famous 90s stand-up comedian. I think he's pretty funny. Other people don't think so. But I think he's charming. I'm so happy that he's back. And the fact that we hear his voice in that teaser, that gives us a good sign that he'll probably back. He'll probably be back to voice Gex once again in any future installments, future adventures. You know, the last time we saw Gex in his own game was in fucking 1990 fucking 9. You feel fucking ancient yet? Yeah, that long ago. However, he did have a cameo in Hot Shots Golf 2 for the PS1, which is very cool, where you could actually golf as Gex. And then technically his final appearance, like literally ever, was a secret playable character in the Xbox game Mad Dash Racing. This is a very cool game. It never became popular, and it seemed like they wanted it to, but oh well. I just really hope that this is a new future for the character. I hope it's not just, like, I'm worried, guys. I'm really worried that it's just going to be this. And then that's it. Because what have we had in the past? Either nothing, or like one little thing happens and they're back for like a year and then they go away. I always loved the Gex back in the day. Back in the day, I always felt like, to me, he was just as great as like Spyro the Dragon, Crash Bandicoot. I felt like he was lumped in there with them. I felt like he was really an exciting character, and his games were so imaginative, all the worlds, and I love Rez, the villain. He's one of the... I think he's probably the coolest villain of all time. Other than Darth Vader, Rez and Darth Vader. Which is pretty funny, actually, that I say that, because we all know at the end of Enter the Gecko, Rez says, "Oh, I am your father."
Gex, it is me, your father.
Yeah, right. How can you be my father?
After all this fucking time, it's not a new Gex game? I mean, really? Like, that's the afterthought after the excitement wore down, which still hasn't totally worn down, from Gex returning. But that's the afterthought now. Like, really? I mean, we've played these games so many times already, and people are still playing them and still streaming them. We've played them. We played enough, okay? It's time for the new Gex game. However, the way I see it, the more people that buy the re-release of the Gex trilogy, the more the Gex fans buy that game, the more chance we have to getting Gex 4. To bring the character fully back.
So we negotiate a little something to cover my expenses.
I'm actually happy it's a re-release of the original versions, because I actually not really a fan of when they remake the retro games we grew up with, like the Crash trilogy remake and the Spyro trilogy remake. The Spyro one, you know, and like the Crash one, it's not the same. I want the way it used to look, the old graphics, the old everything. So I'm happy they're doing this instead. Now I have a couple of questions. Will it include the Titanic level from Enter the Gecko? Because that level was only exclusive to the N64 version. I don't know. Will they care to even know that? Another thing, is it going to include the 2 Game Boy Color games? Probably not. I do technically consider those other games because they're different game experiences. It doesn't matter that they have the same titles. They're a different game experience, so I technically consider them more games. So technically, Gex actually had 5 games in his career. 7 if you include his 2 cameos and the 2 other games I mentioned. For Gex 1, will it automatically save the game as you play through it? Or is it still going to have that stupid password system from the original version intact? Because that was a pain in the ass back in the day. Are they going to fix that? Or are they just going to port it over? Are they going to care to notice it? I don't know. I think it should automatically save the game. You know, I mean, these are things that Gex fans already know. But the people that have Gex and are doing this Are they really going to take care of the games in that way? You know? Make these little things? Or are they just going to plop it all on a disc? We should be celebrating because it is almost the return of the Gecko. We're on the cusp. And let's stay positive because Gex is back. And it almost seems like the 90s is almost totally coming back. Us 90s kids, we brought the 90s back these last couple of years. We brought it back. This is a good time. We should celebrate, eat some pretzels, watch some TV in honor of Gex, check out some reruns, and at least for now, it's tail time.
I know what you're thinking. It's tail time.